Welcome back to Crime Time Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Check it out. I'm over here in this thread from this content creator that does true crime that I follow on Twitter. Yeah, it's Twitter, man. F that X stuff. I hate that, man. I don't know why I always got to say that. It's Twitter. It just doesn't. I just feel so awkward saying it the other way around. But, anyways, this isn't a thread about one of his multiple confessions, right? That he confessed on the phone, from jail, in writing, and in person. And I'm shocked. Like, I think this guy is guilty. I know this wasn't exactly a case where there was a ton of evidence, but without diving all into it and summarizing it all up, I believe that he was guilty personally. But I was shocked to see that there is I feel like a decent amount of people that think he's innocent. It seems I'm kind of shocked by this. Comment, everyone, join the discussion. If you're new, that's what it's about over here, is hearing from the people. I believe this guy was guilty, but and they had that spent shell casing that was traced back to his weapon. And I see someone mentioning about the confessions that he was under extreme duress. Listen, okay, I know being in lockdown, solitary confinement is a bitch, but why confess multiple times? I don't know. I think that this guy is a sick psychopath, evil killer, and he killed these young innocent girls, and it's so sick and disturbing, and he's a demon to me. But check out some of what I'm talking about here. Abby, Libby, and their families deserve justice. I don't think they got this verdict right, and they're saying they're going to appeal the case. I don't think he has a shot in the world, personally. Where'd you get his jailhouse calls? Oh, guilty. Free Richard Allen. And yeah, on the jailhouse call, when he's admitting it, he's repeatedly admitting to it. Like, she's like, what? He's like, I did it. Don't say that. No, I did. I'm sorry. And he's insistent over and over again. Like, what? He's under duress, so he just calls his wife up and confesses to this horrific crime that he didn't do. Get the fuck out of here, man. Someone says free Richard Allen. Richard Allen, right here, was under extreme duress at the time of these confessions. Even the psychiatrist, in quotes, was in on controlling and abusing Richard Allen. We would be so shocked to know the whole truth, but we never will, which is probably a godsend. So what is this theory that there's like some horrific conspiracy that went down that law enforcement was in on and the psychiatrists were in on and all that? And I'm not trying to mock this person. I'm asking truly. I didn't know so many people think that this guy is innocent, apparently. Someone says, how do you know that about the doctor? It's him that sounds controlling, manipulating, especially to his wife. I think he's guilty. I concur with that. Hold on, let me actually retweet that. Again, it's Twitter. Oh, see, repost is retweet, man. Get the F out of here with that repost stuff. Wow, this really highlights the unhealthy codependent relationship Richard Allen has with his wife. Very much a parent/child relationship. Yeah, man, you could tell he's flucked in the head, man. And also shocking to me is as shocking to me as this is the first time I've heard Allen's voice, and it's identical to the bridge guy's voice. That was another piece of evidence. That's what I was saying. Without getting all into it, I do understand that there's not a ton of evidence, and ideally, of course, you want evidence, but he did it, in my opinion, man. Let's see what the replies are to this one. I think certain things he says, yes, I agree. It sounds like the bridge guy. Yeah, the video was grainy, but the voice to me was clearly him. Oh, clever you. Experts have said there isn't enough to compare bridge guy's voice to anyone, but you've solved it. Go you a little rock star. Oh, Karen Williams. What a shocker. She's a Karen. But seriously, like that whole expert thing, listen, anyone can get thrown on the stand as an expert witness. I mean, have you guys ever seen where there's cases that the expert witness never even met the person that they're talking about, giving a extreme diagnosis or opinion on the particular person in the case, and haven't even spoke to them? Or there's just a lot of that whole expert witness thing is not all that it's always cracked up to be, and I always wonder too, why the fuck don't defense attorneys or prosecutors, like, people don't really seem to know how to break down an expert witness who's on some bullish in court. You don't see it a lot, there's, like, I see a lot of prosecutors or defense attorneys getting witnesses to fluck up on the stand, right? But I don't know, when it comes to the expert witnesses, they never seem to get them off their toes. Let me know if you agree with me. Someone says, whoa, wow, we already read that one. One phone call to his mother was very revealing. He tells her that he wouldn't be saying he did, quote, do it, unquote, unless he did. He repeats that in two variations in the same phone call. She says they are doing things to you in there. He says, no, they aren't, Mom. This guy is just an evil maniac. If someone is standing next to you, forcing you to confess by threatening your family, that's exactly what you'd say and how you'd say it. So that's what I'm saying. Are people really believing not just that they believe he's innocent, but that it was this? Like, don't get me wrong, that can happen. There can be someone who gets railroaded and forced in many different ways to take, like, it can happen what this person is describing here. But I don't know, I'm just not buying it personally. Like, I think it's stretched in this case. Again, that can happen, but I'm just not buying that. So what do people think that the truth is? This group that's into witchcraft or whatever it was, and what does everyone think about that whole defense? That, I guess, in court they didn't really let him run with that. The judge ruled that they didn't really have enough pertinent info, if I'm not mistaken. If someone is standing next to you threatening your family, that's exactly what you'd say and how you'd say it. Did you happen to notice at the very end, after he said goodbye, he said okay, as if he was talking to someone else? Listen to it again. That never happened. So, yeah, sure, he was forced to confess to his wife and mother rather than to detectives. These people threatening him sure are smart. Well, so why wouldn't they make him, if that's the case, what this person is saying, that they were so on his bumper to frame him and coerce him into all this stuff, why didn't they have him do it to officers, right? To detectives. I wonder how many individuals would survive what Rick went through in prison, and God only knows what he continues to go through. So, like I said, there seems to be a real, like, support click online of, I didn't realize this, man. What about what the girls went through, their families? I think he is guilty. He is very needy and manipulative, in my opinion. I agree. Rest in peace to Abby and Libby. Is so sad, man. So twisted. He's bridge guy, y'all. Straight up. This demon monster is right where he should be. 2 back-to-back 65-year sentences ran wild on him for $1.30. He ain't beating no appeal. Fluck out of here, man. Rot. Richard Allen, rot. Nothing could be as bad what the 2 little girls he murdered went through. He can't suffer enough. Big facts. All right, let's continue on. How about the fact that she couldn't even allow herself to hug him when leaving? It's not just his voice, but the inflection that is the same with Down the Hill. I really thought he might be innocent till I watched both interviews. So someone here saying they were thinking that until they dived into these interviews more. Someone just flat out saying Richard Allen is innocent. It has 7 likes, surprisingly. Yeah, his voice / bridge guy voice, same. Someone's puking here. Let's see. This was after he was being held in solitary confinement in Supermax prison before trial for over 6 months. He was also on Halidol. Report all the facts. Listen, I did a solid as a kid, as a 14-year-old kid. I was on a thing called Basic Needs in a detention center. When I was 14, I ended up going to do 90 days in a boot camp on a mountain in Pennsylvania. It was hell, man. Like, real talk. I pulled something in my leg. But anyways, the detention center that I was at first, time was flying by. Shit was running sweet. You know what I mean? 2 months in, there was where the place would fill up, and then they would have people that had been there more seniority would sleep in the day room, and it was like a privilege because they would leave the TV on at night. We could talk, do push-ups, play cards and stuff. Like you were just mats on the ground in the day room chilling. And there was a couple individuals talking about AWOLing, and they just threw us all in what they called basic needs, and I ended up being in it for like 6 months. Nah, I'd say it was 3 or 4, my bad. But it fucked me up. But I wasn't about to confess to no murders I didn't do, especially some horrific, twisted-ish like this. Rest in peace again. These young girls' lives snuffed out by this evil, maniacal maniac. He is bridge guy. He is guilty, flat out. I ain't buying this bullish. I'm really, frankly, shocked again. I didn't realize this. It's almost like he's drugged beyond belief by a deranged Gray Hughes superfan and being babysat by felons who are promised early release for extracting confessions. I've got someone here listening to me. So people are really running with this, that now the felons are in on it too. Come on, man. He did it definitely not in psychosis. So there's another person being sarcastic, like, oh, he's clearly in psychosis. Her voice isn't even taking him seriously. She knows he didn't do it and knows he's losing it in there. Nah, I ain't buying it. Again, though, everyone comment, sub up to the channel. You know, crime news, true crime news. That's what it's about over here. Pumping out the content, talking with you guys, the people. We're going to do live streams where you could call in. You know what I mean? Help me run it up and get this channel going. And I don't claim to be an expert. I want to make that clear. Even though I strongly feel that he's guilty, I'm not opposed to chopping it up with someone and hearing them out. Do you know what I mean? I don't claim to be an expert. That's not how I rock with the content. Like, seriously, fill me in for those who feel this way. I'm just straight up perplexed and shocked. I didn't realize there was, don't get me wrong, I had heard a few people, these narratives that they thought he may be innocent or whatever, and that whole witchcraft, what was it, like white supremacist group or whatever it was. But at the end of the day, I clearly thought he was guilty, and I thought 98% of people thought so, but apparently not. I don't know. Sounds like a detached, drugged up robot version of his normal self, repeating what everyone wants to hear, maybe even convinced himself he did something. I give zero weight to those quote unquote confessions. After hearing him changing totally as they go on, what is your conclusion? Someone says exactly the stark difference in his voice and emotion between the first calls he played was enough for me. Pretty sure those were recorded after they forced the Halidol on him. I don't think most people grasp how powerful that drug is. I know about Halidol from, I had a family member that was on hospice that they were giving it to. It will, I don't know, was that Ativan? My bad. But I do know about Halidol. In the pro wrestling world, it was big. I believe it's in the, isn't it a benzo or a barbiturate or something like that? I know it definitely will knock you into left field, right? But wasn't this after he had been mentally tortured? People are really running with this, man. That the guards were in on it, the felons in jail, the prisoners were in on it. Everyone was in on it just to get him to confess. How long had he been in prison at that point? I wonder if he was forced to say that. Anything is possible. Prison calls are recorded and can be used against them. So I don't know, man. There you have it. A lot of people are really running with this narrative. Again, I'm frankly shocked. I had no idea. But tap in. Let's discuss it all. Again, I think this guy is guilty as can be. But convince me. Do your best job trying to convince me. Because, again, frankly, I just don't think anyone could convince me of other. But I am intrigued to really see what it is that takes people down this train of thought that he's innocent. Like, let's talk about it. Subscribe. And I'm out of here. Peace and God bless. R.I.P. Abby and Libby.